doing an abdominal assessment, we want to make sure that we're auscultating first, that we don't want to disturb any bowel sounds. So I'm going to listen in all 4 quadrants. And whenever we're listening to that, we also want to listen to the iliac arteries and the renal arteries. And we want to make sure that there's no bruits. And we would also palpate Alicia's femoral arteries on both sides of her legs. Next, I'm going to do a light palpation on her stomach. And I'm going to be just feeling for any muscle tenderness, any organ enlargement. And I'm going to go to a deeper palpation. And whenever we're assessing the liver, we do what's called a hook liver. I'm going to get Alicia to take a deep breath, and we're kind of going to hook around her ribs, and we're going to do a deeper palpation and feel for her liver. Okay, thank you, Alicia. You can let out your ear. All right. And while you're laying down, I'm gonna go ahead and do a musculoskeletal assessment on your hips. So if you can get you to stick your right foot straight out and lift it up and down, and put your heel up on the table, and take your knee and pull it towards your other knee and out to the side, and put your leg back straight and move it out laterally and back in. And we're going to do that same thing but against resistance. Lift it up. Good. And now down. Good. And now bring your knee up. Good. And now push out. Good. I want you to bring your knee in and out. And the same with the lateral. And that's testing flexion, extension, and abduction and adduction, and the subluxation. And we would do the same with the other. All right, and you can bring on around and swing it back around here. All right, and another part of the musculoskeletal, we're just gonna go look at the head, and I want you to take your head and laterally bring it to the right and to the left. Good, and this is best assessed facing the patient right on. And I want you to take your chin and touch it to your chest. Now up and back straight. And now I want you to look to your right, look to your left. All right, and same, do it against resistant. Do a bending, and touch your chin and lift it up. And back straight and look to your right and look to your left. Good. All right, next I want you to do a shoulder shrug. I want you to just, good, and now against my hands. Good, and that is also assessing cranial nerve number 12, which is the spinal accessory. Also on your shoulders, I want to do abduction and adduction. Take your hands and move it above your head like a gypsy. And now behind your back. And now straight out to the side. And now straight down. And I want you to stick your hands out like in a supine position. And in a pronation. And the same thing against my resistance. Bring your hands above your head. Good, and now behind your back. Good, and now lift them straight out to your side. And straight down. And now to the front. Lift up, and now lift down. Good. And that's testing abduction, adduction, flexion, extension, and the rotation of the shoulder, the ball and socket. Next, we're going to, we did your hips. Now I'm going to do your wrist and your fingers. So take your wrist and lift them up, lift them down to the side, other side, and now against my resistance. Down to the side and the other side. Good, and that's flexion, extension, abduction, adduction. Now your thumbs, bring them down to the top. Same with your fingers, squeeze them in, squeeze them out. Now against my resistance, do your thumbs, do them again, and now your fingers, and now squeeze up against my hand. Good. All right, and I want you to take your fingers and put them up high, bring them down low, again, and again. Good, and that's testing a flexion, extension, abduction, adduction of the fingers, and flexion, extension of the wrist, internal and external, and that was the subluxation of the thumbs. Next, we're going to do your knees. I want you to take your knee and extend it straight out, and back down, and against my hand, and back down. Good. And we will do the same with the other. I want you to take your feet and lift them up, push them down, and now against my resistance, and now push on the gas. Good. Now I want to do your ankle. I want you to move your ankle inward. This is inversion, out, exversion, and now against my resistance. Good. And now take your foot, and that was plantar, and dorsiflexion, plantar flexion. All right, and now I'm going to assess your spinal curvature. If I can get you to just stand up. And if you can just face forward. And I want you to take your hands and try to touch your feet with that. Going to be just looking at your spinal curvature, making sure that there's no kyphosis or scoliosis. And straight back up. All right, and I want you to bend to the right, bend to the left. Good, and now twist to the right, twist to the left. Good. And now bend against my resistance to the front, and now to the back, and now to the side, and now the other side. And now bend to the right, and now bend to the left. Very good. All right, and while you're standing, I'm gonna go ahead and get you to do a gait test. Just take a couple steps forward, and a couple steps back. And now I want you to do a tandem walking, and that will be a heel toe. Just proceed towards the door, doing a heel toe. And the same thing on the way back. And we're just noticing her gait and her balance, making sure that her movements are nice and smooth. All right, Alicia, while you're standing, we're going to do what's called a Romberg test. If you can just take your hands, extend them out just like this. And I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to stand like that for about 20 seconds. And I just want to make sure that her balance is okay. And she's not having one arm drift down, one arm drift up. Okay. Now we have about 20 seconds. And next we're going to do the pronator drift. I'm going to try to push resistance against your hands, and I want you to try to put them back in place. Good. Okay, Alicia, you can have a seat back up on the table. Okay. Also a part of the neurologic exam, we're going to do what's called the memory test. I want you to repeat 3 words I'm going to say to you. Facebook, Apple, baseball.
Facebook, Apple, baseball.
Good. So she passed the memory test. Another part of the neurological test is going to be, I want you to going to be touching your nose with your fingers. If you can just extend your fingers way out, point them. And now take your right finger, touch your nose, and your left finger, touch your nose, and do it quickly. Good. All right. And next we're going to do you can put your hands down. We're going to do a rapid lap slapping. So if you can just take your hands up and then back and forth, nice and fast, like you're playing patty cake. Very good. And we're just noting any smoothness, making sure that her movement is nice and smooth and she doesn't have any involuntarily muscle spasms. Next I'm going to do sensation. And I want you to just tell me if it's the soft side of this Q-tip or the hard side of this Q-tip whenever I'm rubbing it on your hand, okay? Close your eyes.
Soft, hard, soft, hard, soft, hard.
Good. All right, and so she would pass the sensation part of the neurological exam. Alicia, well, that concludes our assessment for today. Do you have any questions for me?
No.
Okay, well, thank you so much.
Thank you.